welcome to this session presented to you by SoFi and Rollstack. And today we'll be talking about how you can automate your data-driven reporting in the PowerPoints and documents formats for a variety of use cases, whether it's business reviews, leadership reporting, financial reporting, or client presentations. My name is Nabil Jallouli. I'm the CEO of Rollstack, and at Rollstack we help enterprises automate their PowerPoint and documents reporting, and the way we do that is by allowing you to connect on one side to platforms such as Tableau and other business intelligence tools, and then on the other side to content platforms, whether it's slide decks or documents platforms, and whether it's the Microsoft or the Google Suite. I have been a Tableau Power user since 2014, leading data and analytics teams at companies like Groupon or Pinterest, and I'm very happy to be surrounded today by this amazing data fam. I'm also extremely excited to be joined on stage by one of the best data and finance leaders I know, period, Michael McElvaney. Michael is the head of finance and BI systems at SoFi, and obviously everyone knows SoFi for their innovative platform, but today you'll get a glimpse into their data innovation journey and their data systems. But Michael, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Michael McElvaney, and I'm really excited to have the chance to give a brief overview of how I think about data, how we think about data at SoFi, and also layer in the Rollstack vision on top of that. So super excited. So first of all, I'm responsible for our data strategy. And I do want to admit that a lot of what I'm going to cover today will seem very straightforward, and it is very straightforward. But there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about this strategy, I don't think about this framework to basically make my decisions on a day-to-day basis. So I wanted to start with our mission statement, where we want to leverage technology to provide timely, unified data and analytics, ensuring a single source of truth delivered through world-class automated reporting solutions. Putting that in another way, these 5 guiding principles, like I said, basically from a day-to-day perspective, we look at this, we look at leveraging technology, we look at the central data management, we look at timely data, we look at one source of truth, and we look at efficient data access and presentation. Obviously this, again, it's nothing groundbreaking, but every day we think about these principles and make sure that everything we do on a day-to-day basis falls under these principles. Moving to the how. How we achieve the transformation and automation is through process improvement, ETL, ELT integrations, data availability, and the modeling logic BI layer. So the big thing that I want to get across here is that all of these principles and how we achieve the transformation applies to our entire finance org. We're on a mission to upskill everyone in the finance org, not just our BI teams, which is really, really important, and it layers on top. We're committed to upskilling the entire org, and I'm going to take you through some of the toolkit approaches we've taken to do that. So on the screen is basically a toolkit guide that was built from taking multiple companies that I've worked for and stitching it together. I've grouped them into tool types across the top, and I've grouped it down the y-axis into the complexity of entry into that tool. So you can see, for example, Rollstack is in the basic line. That is genuinely a compliment to Rollstack, because the path to entry to Rollstack has been seamless from a SoFi perspective and is very easy to get in. Again, at SoFi, we take this very, very seriously, where along the top in all of our companies, everyone is using these tools already. But whenever you look at the moderately basic and the moderate and then getting more complex, there's fewer and fewer across the org that use these. And we want to change that. We want to enable any skill set in finance to be able to write a SQL query, to pull data from Snowflake, to be able to build a Tableau dashboard. It's long gone is the day where you have to be a developer to pull data from a database. We've created finance hubs at SoFi, and we try to create communities where people can come and ask questions and upskill in all of these tools. And we've seen a lot of really, really great success with this. I know that obviously there's power users, there's Tableau visionaries who really take it to the next level, but the entry point to these isn't that complex. And when you layer on AI and UX on top of this, anyone can create a basic Python script even without, without being a developer. So we're really passionate about upskilling the entire org, and we spend a lot of time doing that. In addition, we're lucky that we have a leadership who are very committed to technology. We have C-suite stakeholders who really invest in the right technology and really see the value in it. And again, we're going to use the example of Rollstack of how it's a no-brainer to invest in these tools. The next slide is, again, something that I adapted from multiple companies that I worked with. It's basically trying to show the landscape of tools across an org. And the arrows are integrations between those. Some of them are solid arrows, some of them are not solid arrows. But I think it does multiple things. This is a slide I use when I want to demonstrate the complexity of integrations and the entire landscape of the tool set of many companies. But I also really, really like it because it shows the opportunity of integration between all of these systems. For me, every solid line across these tools is reducing manual steps, which is beneficial to everyone for obvious reasons. The center path that you see, the orange one, that's the ETL or automation layer. So you can see multiple tools that we're all familiar with. Rollstack's in there, it's a little small maybe, but Rollstack is there. We also have Tableau Prep Builder, which I know a lot of people are going to be familiar with as well. And this is really the engine that builds these arrows, builds the integrations across all these systems. And we have as part of our vision, we generally use Snowflake as our common denominator across all systems. So it can be a primary source of truth, and it can be that integration layer where necessary if direct integrations aren't possible. But this is a slide, like I said, is something we presented to our CFO whenever we've been building business cases, and the message lands straight away. It's very obvious that what we can do by connecting these systems, it's a no-brainer, again, from time saving and value add work. So that leads us into why Rollstack. So you all raised your hands earlier that you use manual steps to create PowerPoints. We use Google Slides. And like most companies, we have hundreds of slides in certain decks depending on what the preparation is for. And before Rollstack, we were copying and pasting every entry in those slides. Now, primarily on our weekly slides and our monthly slides and our QBRs, they're linked to our Google Sheets, they're linked to our Tableau dashboards, and with the demo that Nabil's going to give, it's basically a click of a button or a schedule to automate all of our slides that are based off a Tableau dashboard or Google Sheets. Anyone who's used Google Sheets with Google Slides know that the built-in integration is not great, whereas with Rollstack, it's the perfect presentation in the slide. So it's really saved a massive amount of time for us. So yeah, with that, I'll hand it over to Nabil to go through that last mile problem that we have solved at SoFi with Rollstack, and thank you for your time.
It turns out the challenge presented by Michael at SoFi is not specific to SoFi, but it's much wider. So it's something that is widely known within the data community as what we like to refer to as the last mile problem that exists in the modern data stack, where you have the dashboards, which are excellent tools for real-time analytics, getting a quick glance at what revenue is, how churn is pacing. Now, where data tends to be presented either internally to stakeholders, to leadership, execs, or externally to clients, is primarily in the form of slide decks and documents, simply because supplementing data with insights is very important. And as you all know, data doesn't tell a story, it's really humans that do. Now, this meme, which is quite popular actually in the data community, I'm sure might feel all too familiar, but what seems like an easy thing to do, right? Updating the same deck over and over often takes as much time as building it in the first place. And that's precisely where Rollstack comes in. So essentially bridging the gap between the data stack and BI tools and the content platforms. If you look at the data journey, it looks roughly like this. Obviously, each company has their own nuances of this, but everything is fairly automated till the BI tool step. Now, there is still that manual effort of taking data out of the data stack and then presenting that either in slides, docs, emails, PDFs, etc. And Rollstack essentially sits as that last mile bridge between your data stack and then the content platforms. So the typical use cases where essentially teams are able to reduce their reporting by a minimum of 80% include all these groups. But a few words about us. We partner mostly with enterprises, but also mid-sized companies. We work with companies like SoFi, Zillow, TripAdvisor, Whirlpool, and many others, and backed by two of the largest US VC firms, Y Combinator and Insight Partners. And the typical use cases where companies are able to cut down their data reporting workflows by a minimum of 80% include, again, leadership reviews, financial reporting, and client presentations with all their sort of nuances depending on your industry and sector. But with that, onto the fun part. I know this crowd loves demos, so I'm really excited to show you the platform live. So for that, we're going to be essentially using a real example and just showing you how you can automate your first deck or document together here today. So there are essentially three things that the platform will help you do. The first one is building out your templates of what you'd like your leadership or executive report to look like, and that you'll be able to update by literally hitting a button. You see here multiple update buttons, or even scheduling it to update on autopilot. The second thing that you'll be able to achieve is scaling your reporting across any granularity, dimension, variable that matters to your business. And this is what is commonly referred to in the BI space as bursting. So, how do you go from one report to variations of it, one by region, by sales team, by client, et cetera, all following a consistent template. And then the last thing that you'll be able to do, and third one, is distribution, so getting the reports in the hands of your audience via email and other communication channels. But this is really in a nutshell what the platform will help you with. So now for the first part, so how do you build your template, right? If we take a look at the typical kind of data-driven deck, right? It looks like this, where you have multiple slides and views that are coming here, as you might recognize, I'm sure, directly from Tableau, with some narratives that supplement those insights and visualizations that need to be kind of prepared and presented at your regular cadence. So how do you build this sort of template in Rollstack so that you don't have to build it again? So the first step is connecting to your data sources. And you see here all the different platforms that we support. Includes obviously Tableau. And on the other side, so the users are able to start here by selecting whatever format they're interested in automating. And we support their slides, docs, but also emails, data-driven newsletters, so you can embed the content of Tableau directly within your email newsletters. Now, let's say we're Google Slide Shop, exactly like SoFi. You can obviously use this on PowerPoint as well, but you're going to be connecting the platform to your deck that you're looking to automate. Generally, companies start off their company's branded templates or just an empty deck. And then from here, the way you build your templates is by embedding three things. First one, visualizations. Obviously, Tableau arguably has best-in-class visualizations, so you'll be able to leverage those and embed those directly in your decks. Second one is insights, so Rollstack is able to write the narratives and content of your decks as well to supplement those visualizations. And then the third one is simply variables, so things like the date or a presentation title that you can have live directly within your deck. Now for the visualization part, so let's say we want to get something here on slide 10. The way it works is you click on Add Viz, and then from here, you'll be selecting your data source. Tableau, you can select next to your dashboard, and here you can obviously cross as many dashboards as you need. So data is generally scattered across multiple places, and you kind of get that all together in the deck, so you can combine those. And this is where you're going to see your dashboard exactly like on Tableau, and you'll be able to interact with it, so enter your filters. So let's say we select Central here. From now on, this is saved. And all you have to do is pick which visualizations you want to get on your slide. And you can select as many as you want. Now let's say we want to get this map here, and this is where it becomes really interesting. So Rollstack is able to either get you the Tableau Viz in its native Tableau format, or it's also able to convert that into a PowerPoint format, meaning that it will give you access to the underlying data in the form of an Excel if you'd like to share with your audience the underlying data as well, in case they want to do some dig in or zoom in. So that is also an option available for you. Let's say we like the Tableau format better. We're going to hit save. And then from here, Rollstack will work on adding it directly to your deck. Now, as the update is happening here live, few things to mention. You can schedule the decks to update from here on autopilot. And Rollstack allows you to introduce schedules where you can say, I want my deck to be updated on a daily basis at 6 a.m. before my meeting at 10. Two main methods for your update. Either you update everything within the same deck, or you historize data with the archive methods. So that will allow you to archive your historical versions and add a timestamp on it based on the schedule of your choice, so that way you have your monthly business review for Jan, Feb, March, and so on. Now, a few things to call out here. You see the visualization got added live here. Any formatting you make on the deck side is going to be set once. So formatting is set, and from there you can forget about it. It's all going to be preserved throughout the update cycles. The second thing that you can use to build these templates is insights. And the way insights work is you're able to add insights by pointing them to a specific viz or slide inside your deck. So you can say, for instance, I want to comment on this map here that we added on slide 10. And then from here, you can add your own custom prompt. And we generally see teams leverage this in two ways. Either you have your own standardized way of telling stories, things like last week, revenue went up by 7% to 2.2 billion, driven by X, Y, and Z. Or you can have some more open-ended prompt like this one, summarize the key takeaways in 3 bullets, use a corporate and concise tone. Let's say format numbers in dollars and millions. And from here, it will show you a preview of what that insight will look like. And as a part of Rollstack's automation workflows, it will take care of updating for you both the visualizations and then the insights. And obviously, you can iterate with this until you're really happy with the text structure. And you know why this is particularly useful is, one, it is able to pull insights from behind the visualizations. So obviously, this is a map, and there are no labels on it. So, but it's still able to give us some real data, and that is because it analyzes the underlying data. The second thing is, it's going to do a really good job for all the quick maths that teams generally have to pull data for in a spreadsheet just to get you those numbers, right? Things like year on years, month on month. Generally, teams would extract the data in a spreadsheet just to run those, and this is such a good way to get those very easily and quickly. Now, once you have your template created, it is scheduled, it's on autopilot, and you can even have them delivered directly to your audience by entering their email addresses. You can create your own email templates with some variables, things like hi first name, please find attached your monthly report for department X, Y, and Z, and these will get distributed for you directly to your audience. Now, again, this is just the first part of what Rollstack does, which is allowing you to create kind of automated slide decks and documents. Now, the second part is scaling your reporting. And that process can be done very easily with what we call collections. And the way it works is, now that you've created your template, you can simply tell the platform, I want to generate multiple variations of this template by iterating on this given filter or dimension or parameter. And these will be taken directly from the dashboards that you used when creating your deck. So, for example, here, see that we have category, region, sales channel, sales team. Let's say you're interested in building one deck by region. You will select region, then from here, create kind of the framework for your scaled creation process. And then all you have to do is pick up from your filter values, from the region that you have available, which ones you want to generate a personalized version of this report for. And obviously, you know the business better than anyone else. I'm sure this will spark some ideas, but in this example, so the way you'll be doing it is simply going here and then clicking on add variants, and then specifying directly again from the filter values coming from Tableau, which regions you want to generate a personalized version of this business review for. So you see me here selecting a few, clicking on add collection, and in a matter of seconds, you'll see these decks getting created live here as we speak. Now, everything is following the same template. So there is a real notion of governance where everything is controlled from one place. And in case you get the feedback from leadership or stakeholders that, hey, we should be adding this new metrics on slide 10, on slide 12, all you have to do is do it in one place. And then Rollstack will propagate those changes across. You can also obviously schedule all these things to update on autopilot and even direct directly to your audience. So each of the regional managers, for instance, their own specific reports. And to summarize, so the platform will essentially allow you to, one, connect to your data sources, Tableau being one of them, two, create connected templates that you'll be able to schedule on autopilot, three, run automated updates, four, scale content, and then five, the true last mile of distribution this to directly to your stakeholders via email, Slack, or other communication channels. I'll let Michael walk you through some of the results that they've experienced using Rollstack, and then from there, continue with our talk.
Sure. So I mentioned earlier that we have buy-in from execs on investing in these tools, and this slide demonstrates why it was a very easy sell to use Rollstack. I think, I don't know if I've told Nabil, but he was one of the few people on LinkedIn that I responded to the message because it was an immediate no-brainer that this is going to save us time. So in this, at the moment, we have greater than 3,300 visualizations updated per month, more than 250 slides updated per month, and 25 different decks. And what this demonstrates both is the usage at SoFi, but it also demonstrates that other orgs are using this. It's not just finance, it's really grown. The second we mentioned that the tool was available, our ops team wanted to use it. Our marketing team heard about it, they started using it. So this slide isn't just finance, this is all of SoFi, and it's growing all the time. So it's, like I said, sometimes things can be hard to sell to execs, but when we can concretely say we're saving X amount of hours from the manual copying and pasting and allowing people to actually spend more time on the insights and drawing conclusions from the data, it's a no-brainer to invest in a tool that automates that step. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. And I'll just leave you with this, but I really love this this quote, essentially from Brian, who's the VPBI at Recurly. So, you know, one thing that essentially data teams are always struggling with is going beyond the dashboard. So, you know, data teams obviously is formed of amazing, you know, analytical minds, brilliant minds, and they, you know, one of their key struggles is moving away from building dashboards to essentially informing the business leadership and action as really strong leaders within the organization. And one thing that we saw a lot is, you know, by enabling them to move away from some of these repetitive routine tasks, really allowing them to focus on what you know, they can do best, which is you know, driving the business forward, acting on strategic initiatives, and working on really added value work instead of repetitive, again, PowerPoint or documents creation work. But with that, thank you all for coming today. Really a pleasure connecting with everyone, the Data Fam, and again, thanks a lot for your time.